Real YouTubers talk about horses. Today we have a guest who is a horse expert.
I thought you were just gonna call me a horse, to be honest.
If I thought more about it, I would have. I have the rule with my intros. I only ever think about the first two lines, and then the second two lines I make up as I go.
Perfect. I love it. Improv. It's awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? Today we are joined by Joey PokeaimMD. Joey's a good friend of mine. You want to say hello, Joey?
Yeah, what's up, guys? Yeah, PokeAim here. I am a good friend of Wolfey's. This is awesome. He never tells me this, so it's really cool. Tell your friends that they're good friends, okay? They
Hell
like
yeah.
it. Just tell your friends.
Yeah. But yeah, Joey is, for those of you who are more, I've gotten some comments recently asking why I don't play single battles. But if you are interested in competitive single battling, Joey's the number one person who I would recommend.
Hey.
Yeah, I kind of feel like he and I are very similar styles, but in different formats. So, So today we're going to be talking about Glastrier, which is one of the two new horses introduced in Pokemon Sword and Shield, the Crown Tundra DLC. And we're going to be talking about specifically the differences between how good they are and how they're used in singles versus doubles.
Yeah, and I'll actually be talking about 6v6 singles as well as Battle Stadium 3v3 because I play both.
Mm-hmm.
So do you kind of want to just take it first and then I'll give you my comparison or?
Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah, awesome.
So at least for us, Glastrier is the better of the two horses at the moment, and it's in large part because its stats are so phenomenal. It's got really, really good bulk. First of all, 100 HP, 130 defense, and 110 special defense is just phenomenal across the board. And it has a very high base attack stat as well, meaning it's a really good offensive threat. So everything so far is actually amazing. And then you don't need special attacks, so you don't even really look at that one. But the 30 base speed is actually kind of like the cherry on top because it allows this Pokemon to be a really good Trick Room sweeper. And 30 is it's not the slowest thing you'll face against, but it speed ties like a Moongus. It underspeeds a lot of really important stuff. And since you mostly use this Pokemon in Trick Room, it makes it just an incredibly powerful Pokemon. So basically the stats make it a really good Dynamax candidate because even super effective attacks don't really do that much to it when it's Dynamaxed. And every time it gets a KO, it also gets an attack boost. So it kind of just has everything going for it, really. Good ability, amazing stats, and then also a really good move pool. You're always running Protect, Icicle Crash, but then for coverage, normally people run Close Combat and High Horsepower for coverage, but you can run Mech Steel Spike with Smart Strike or Heavy Slam. There's a couple other moves you can use as well. Yeah.
I love how you basically explain exactly what it does in. I want to say I'll focus more on Battle Stadium 3v3 first, but basically this is a phenomenal Battle Stadium 3v3 Pokemon.
I bet.
Obviously, for the same reasons, right? For Trick Room, being anti-Trick Room as well. I have teams where I have ridiculously high speed tiers like Regieleki and Kartana or whatever, and then I'll have just an endgame Glastrier. I won't even run a Trick Room mon with it if necessary. I'm assuming you guys run Weakness Policy too, or do you run Life Orb or Berries?
Actually, all of the above. The default set right now is Weakness Policy. It's often paired with. Yeah, it's broken. It's often paired with Dusclops. And so Dusclops run either Rock Tomb, which is a more.
Oh my god,
useful...
they're just evolving.
Yeah, well, it's I personally wouldn't run Rock Tomb if I ran Weakness Policy because it can miss. But you can also run Brick Break, which is the other option. And you just side attack your partner, and because that +2 Dynamax to even physically bulky resists Tapu Fini aren't taking Max Hailstorms very well,
Yeah, that's the thing I like about it as well. It starts snowballing because of its Ice Moxie ability. Killing Nay, it just immediately starts to snowball. In Battle Stadium 3v3, very similar. Typically, you'll see it paired with a Mimikyu or Cresselia because Mimikyu obviously gets the basically auto Trick Room, you could say. They obviously nerfed it by getting rid of its ability to run Focus Sash, but you'll see Mimikyu run Trick Room plus Curse. That way it dies for the most part to any attack that comes out, and then Glastrier will come out and just start picking up KOs. Very similarly, the set it's Icicle Crash, Close Combat, High Horsepower, and Smart Strike. We don't put
you don't need Protect, yeah.
Yeah, and we obviously don't run Heavy Slam because there's Dynamax available in that, and it's just so stupid good. To the point where Tapu Fini is probably going to be top 10 in usage just because of its ability to resist most of its attacks and then threaten it back. A lot of them was actually running specs now too, which is really cool to me. But so you bring it in on a mon that takes neutral, even a super effective mon. It doesn't matter. I've beaten Celesteela 1v1s.
Really?
Just because you get the Weakness Policy and they're gone, and you always I feel like you always fire off a Max Hailstorm with this thing because it doesn't matter if they resist. Cinderace dies at +1, so. Just to give you ideas, just how good this mon is. Tapu Fini at neutral is taking 40% almost. So it's really cool. And then its ability, I think this is the biggest thing, and you guys obviously have the same thing, but its ability to get special defense and defense raises because of Smart Strike and high horsepower when they're Dynamax, and Max Knuckle giving it attack. It's just it's a ridiculously crazy Pokemon to the point where like I'll save it, and I think it's so scary to face too. Like even if you outplay the Dynamax turns, which is very hard, I might add. It's bulk after the 100 HP, 130 defense, 110 special defense, and then in singles, it does similarly, but it usually runs Choice Band instead because obviously you get Dynamax in 66. So you'll probably only ever see it on full Trick Room with like Alolan Marowak and Magearna and Pokemon like Cresselia.
Does Magearna learn Trick Room?
Yes, it does.
I didn't know that.
And Misty Explosion, which is pretty cool because it can Trick Room and Boom. Or Volt Switch, of course, if you want to do that, or not throw away your broken Pokemon.
Right, Magearna's broken for sure.
Yeah. But or Porygon 2 is another one because
so
I know you guys probably know about it's bulky, but it also has teleport. So
do you run Trick Room Recover Teleport then? Is that the moveset?
Some on more defensive ones, yes. On more offensively based ones that run like Ice Beam and like Thunderbolt, like Bolt Beam,
Bolt Beam.
You wouldn't.
Yeah.
But so you'd run that and maybe like Foul Play or Thunderbolt or Ice Beam, whatever is your last one. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It's only supporting.
Yeah.
And like that or Slowbro that can do the exact same thing. And you just bring it out and you click Choice Band, Icicle Crash. It can also run Sub Swords Dance or Swords Dance with heavy duty boots because you don't have to worry about Stealth Rock, Spikes, exactly. And Sub Swords is pretty cool because it forces switches, but it's also nice because you avoid Skull Burn from Toxapex. And this mon is just so bulky that at +2, like you're almost knocking out physically defensive Toxapex, like fully physically defensive. If they're not physically defensive, they'll die. Yeah. So, and it's bulky enough to just take hits from basically everything that's not like named Heatran or like Choice Band Blaziken or something like that. Like,
but it would OHKO those with ground moves if it has speed priority anyway, right?
Exactly.
So
exactly. You should OHKO them with Banded +1 Icicle Crash. Like that's just how strong this mon is. It's just funny because like the same thing. Where there's Dynamax, Trick Room is its best option. We just don't run Protect with ours, and then which I feel like sometimes you miss. Not being able to max guard sometimes sucks, but I think that you just get so much out of it. Like there's a lot. So a common like team archetype right now would be Heatran plus Lando, which is always been good since Black and White. Like that combination has always been good because they cover each other's weaknesses besides water. So you have Heatran plus Lando plus whatever last you want. And I actually had a post on Twitter too where my opponent was up 3-1. I had Glastrier out with 2 turns of Trick Room left, and I brought it out versus Heatran. And
you Icicle crashed?
Yeah, I crashed on Landers, right? I killed it, and then I won the game. Yeah. Because all I had to do was max Quake, the Heatran. So I would get a Spidef boost anyway, so I'd live their fire move regardless. And they had Tyranitar in, so it didn't matter at that point. So like a situation like that mon can bring back games. And, I mean, in singles, Dynamax is in 3v3 singles. Dynamax is broken because you could be down again, like
1-3,
and you can still win. Whether it be versus Trick Room ways or like Max Airstream type of ways, whatever you have. Like it's the fact that it has like Moxie, like that's the big thing, right? Like it's broken Moxie, but it's just overall so nasty. Like you'll see people. I'll have a Torkoal out on the field, and a Glastrier will stay out in front of me and hit me just cause. Not even Dynamax, just cause.
I have a couple stories for you, like I think that you've reminded me of. So I was playing in a tournament, and like the Players' Cup, which is like a pretty big online tournament. And I had Glastrier, but I'm running Life Orb instead of Weakness Policy because my Weakness Policy was elsewhere on the team, and like the thing is that like so Glastrier, part of the reason it's so difficult to beat is because like because of the Moxie ability. But the thing about the Moxie ability is like. Normally, if you had like Rhyperior, for example, right? If you had Dynamax Rhyperior, you could, if you're smart about how you use your Intimidate user, like let's say you have Incineroar Parting Shot, you can oftentimes like turning +2 into +1 or +1 into neutral is like a big deal, right? And so like oftentimes a smart Intimidate user can like figure out a way around like a Glastrier or some kind of weakness policy Pokemon. But with Glastrier, because of the attack boost, like. If they get a KO at any point, like you can't just sack Pokemon to get another Intimidated in. Like instant sacks and then brings it back in. Yeah. So I have 2 stories for you. The first is that in round 1, game 1 of the Players' Cup, my opponent led Mamoswine Moltres and I led Glastrier, and I think I might have just led Regieleki because like the other thing is that like if the opponent doesn't have like Intimidate or something, I think Screens plus Dynamax Glastrier is just like turbo broken.
Oh my god, I can't wait to talk about that too.
Yeah, like so I have like Light Clay Regieleki, which always sets screens up most of the time, and the opponent leaves like Moltres Mamoswine, and turn 1 I max Knuckle the Mamoswine, and then they like protect Moltres and like high horsepower or something, and I set Reflect, and then turn 2, I max Quake the Moltres, it switches to Incineroar, and because I got the attack boost turn 1 from max Knuckle, I Oko the Incineroar, and then like get a special defense boost and an attack boost, and I just won the game from there.
It's so busted, dude.
It's so broken. But the really crazy thing is, the last round of week 1 of the Players' Cup, I was like, if I win, I made it to the next week. If I lost, I'd have to win 2 more, and the matchup is like atrocious. I'm in a position where I'm like, this isn't an auto loss, but it's like so bad because my opponent is Charizard and Torkoal and Sunny Day Whimsicott, and my only fire resist on my team is Tapu Fini, which like doesn't beat those Pokemon, right?
At all.
At all, right. So the way that I won was I just used Glastrier to beat Charizard and Nihilego and Whimsicott and Torkoal, and it worked, and I won the set.
You named 4 Pokemon that you were supposed to lose versus with that one.
Exactly. Like, yeah, it was like actually nutty because I would set Light Screen and get like special defense boosts, and then Torkoal wasn't doing that much damage, and I would overwrite the Sun with Max Hailstorm. So like it wasn't easy, and it wasn't like super clean, but it was like I looked at the matchup, I was like, this is my best option right now, and that's how I made it work. So
Bro, like that mon. So the first set of like Battle Stadium Wi-Fi battles I did for season 7, I used Glastrier first, and of course I took your title. Glastrier is ridiculous because it is. So all 5, I played like I think 6 or 7 games. All 6 of them, I won with Glastrier. The last game that I lost because they had Glastrier, and they lived. They were -1, and in the sun, they lived a burning jealousy from my Torkoal from like 80% and just destroyed me. Like non-Dynamax. Just -1. They destroyed me with high horsepower. It was just I was Shookaberry too, and I just lost. They were still faster than me in the following turn.
Right, and just 2-hit game you, yeah.
It's so crazy, and I wish you could do that more in singles. It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's good on Trick Room, but
it needs Trick Room, right? And that's harder to set up in singles than in doubles.
It's feature. As terrible as base 30 is, you can, with investment, you can outspeed a very important Pokemon like Clef, Hippowdon, and things like that. And I mean, Heavy Slam's really cool in OU because it lets you 2-hit KO Tapu Fini and it lets you O-Coke with Fable. So those are pretty big.
Right.
Those are pretty big ones. But it's hard to fit a Choice Band one outside because Stealth Rock is prominent. And then we have demons running around like freaking Pheromosa. And shoot, Glare Zygarde, and I don't know about Glare Zygarde over there, but that mon will be. You can name any counter to it, and it'll beat it. I've lost my underwear table. Yeah, I've lost my underwear table to Glare Zygarde. That's just how nasty it is. Like, and I've lost Booloos and Rillabooms and everything. That
you lost a Booloo to that thing? How?
Dude, bro, it just glares you in coils until you get full paralyzed. Who cares if you get +6 if you ain't breaking his sub? Like,
right.
Or you can't attack. That's the thing.
Right.
Like, even bulk up Buzzwoles have lost 1v1 to Zygarde.
That's incredible.
That mon nasty.
Yeah.
But yes, like it's not a position to run outside of Trick Room. And the thing is, it's really good on Trick Room, but Trick Room has some hard hitters, like some stars, like Alolan Marowak doesn't have to be choiced to switch up moves and get kills on everything with its thick club, right? And then like Magearna can pseudo sleep. Stack Attacka can set up its own Trick Room.
Yeah, Stack Attack is broken.
Oh, they gave it body press now too, so you don't have to win like
believe me, I know.
Or anything. Yeah, that's so cool. I gotta use that now. I want to use Stack Attack.
It's so good. I got to #1 on the ladder with it. It's actually incredible.
I watched all those videos.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna do the exact same thing when the new thing comes up. I'm trying to get rank 1 right now, but it's very difficult, man. Like,
it's super hard. Yeah, it's really hard.
You know, win so many in a row. I feel like it's harder in mine because Dynamax can kill 7 Pokemon.
Yeah, at least your games are faster though. Like our games are like 15 minutes.
For sure. But it's really interesting to watch like the doubles versus singles mindset.
For sure. But yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much all we have to say about Glastrier. I know I got a little off topic, but
I hope you guys liked it anyway.
Yeah. We're going to be doing a pair to this, obviously, of Spectrier on Joey's channel. So I'll link his channel down below. Go show him some love. Hit the subscribe button if you're interested. But yeah, I'm actually really interested to talk about Spectrier because like that's a Pokemon where it's less clear in doubles how good it is. So yeah, I'm interested to hear how it is in singles.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And again, if you guys enjoy that, like singles content, like Showdown Live, like Wi-Fi battles, all that stuff, feel free to check me out if you want. If not, and if you hate me, well, you'll see me next time on a Wolf video. So, I'm sorry.
On that note, goodbye.
Don't hate me.